Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking, when we are being told to do something, when there is a command in the kitab or in the sunnah, is it something that we should do right away, or is it permissible for us to have a gap? And he gives an example. For example, if a person sins and they must make tawbah, does that tawbah need to be done right away, or can we delay the tawbah? And there are many examples of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands the salat and the zakat, etc. To answer this question, inshallah, we'll study this in year 3 when we do usul al-fiqh. There's a separate module for that. The ulama in usul al-fiqh have divided what is wajib into 2 categories. That which is wajib or fard al-ain and fard al-kifaya. Fard al-ain is that which is wajib upon every single individual, and fard al-kifaya is what is wajib upon a group from the community. Okay. As for the timing of what is wajib from the commandments, this is also split into 2. And this is how the ulama of usul al-fiqh have defined as what is wajib or fard al-fawr or at-tarahi, which basically means if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded something, do we have to do it right away, al-fawr, or is it al-tarahi, meaning you have a choice to do it whenever you want, as long as you do it? Now, the majority of the ulama have said it is al-fawr. It must be done right away. And there are evidences from the Quran, the Sunnah, to support this, such as the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ, hasten to do good deeds. Ulaika, in talking about the prophets, أولئك يسارعون في الخيرات. They were the ones who used to be at the forefront of doing good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ. Hasten towards the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing these good deeds. And this is the view of the majority, meaning if a person has been commanded with something, then they must hasten to do it at their earliest possible convenience, and they shouldn't delay it. There is another school from the madhahib, but also from usul al-fiqh. This is well known from the Shafi'i scholars and some of the Hanafi scholars, is that a person has a choice. So if we know that Salat al-Dhuhr starts at 1 o'clock and Salat al-Asr starts at 5 o'clock, so you've got 4 hours, they have said as long as you exemplify the command within those 4 hours, then you have done what you have been tasked with. And if you didn't and you died, then you are not accountable, because you haven't done anything wrong. You've got 4 hours to pray, so it's all up to you as to when you do it. And then they've brought evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah, such as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanding upon us the Hajj. So they have said, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded upon mankind the Hajj, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. So they have said in this, we have proof to say that as long as a person does it once in his lifetime, it's sufficient. So this is from their evidences. What seems to be the more correct view is that unless if you've got dalil for tarahi, to delay it, then it is al-fawr. Unless if you've got dalil to say that you can delay it, or there is a reason for you to delay it, then otherwise you have to exemplify it right away, due to the generality of the statements that we've had, but also in the way that we can understand the relationship between a person and his master and his Lord, and also from the Arabic language as well. Even in English language, I suppose, in any language, if a person has been commanded to do something, does he say, okay, well, I'll do it when I feel like doing it? If your mother calls you and she asks for something, are you going to say, well, yeah, I'll do it when I feel like it? No, that would not be exemplifying the command. Therefore, the majority have said that the person must hasten straight away, unless if there's dalil for a person to delay. And this answers the evidences that the other party have used. They have used Hajj. So the majority will respond by saying, well, we've got evidence to say Hajj can be delayed. Qada for Siyam. So for example, Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to wait 10 months to perform her qada for what is wajib. We will say, well, that's evidence in itself to say that doesn't need to be done right away. Otherwise, in its asl, in its origin, commandments must be completed right away. So the example that we've got here of Tawbah, example that we have of salat. The example of zakat, it's not permissible to raise zakat, this is well known. So when we understand this usuli principle, we can then understand the fiqh which comes off it from the furu'. One last discussion though, does this include what is mustahab? Now, what is wajib? Then the definition of this is ma yuthab fa'iluhu wa yu'aqib tarikuhu. This is the definition of wajib with some of the ulama usul al-fiqh. Meaning, if a person was to do this thing which has been commanded, then he will be rewarded. And we know that it is wajib because if he doesn't do it, then he is eligible for punishment. Istahiq al-iqab. So, for example, salat. Is salat wajib or is it not wajib? What kind of a command is this? We will say that if a person does it, he'll be rewarded. And if he doesn't do it, then there's plenty of evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah that he'll be punished. Then we know it is wajib. And we can apply this to all other things which are wajib. This is how we understand what is wajib because this is the definition. As for what is mustahab, ma yuthab fa'iluhu. If a person does it, he'll be rewarded. Walam yu'aqib tarikuhu. And he will not be punished if he was to leave it. Siwak. Is siwak wajib or is it mustahab? Well, we know that if a person doesn't do siwak, then he has left off what is good and what is better. It is from the fitrah, it is from cleanliness, it is from the perfection of iman, and the person's acts of worship will be rewarded more. But will he be sinful if he leaves it out? The answer is no. Therefore, it is mustahab. Right, so now applying this to our discussion. When it comes to what is mustahab, now we can understand what is mustahab because we understand its definition. Does that need to be hastened or not? Now, a large number of the ulama of usul al-fiqh have said hastening applies only to what is wajib. As for what is mustahab, then he doesn't need to hasten. This is because if a person does it or doesn't do it, then he will not be, if he doesn't do it, then he will not be punished. So if he's not going to be punished, then how can we then say to him, well, you must hasten something that you won't be punished for? The Malikiyya have said that all commandments are included together, as in due to the generality of the command and due to the generality of what we have been told is to hasten, then all of it applies. And for me, that seems to be the correct view. And even applying this to our lives as a principle, we will then also know that if a person procrastinates and delays doing good deeds, he gets himself into a bad habit, and this could affect his iman. Therefore, hastening to do what is commanded is something which is found in the principles of the Sharia, and it is not permissible for a person to delay what has been commanded, and the person must exemplify the commands to the best of his ability. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes us at the forefront of doing these good deeds, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts everything that we have put forth, and He removes from us laziness and procrastination, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps for us to complete our iman. هذا والله أعلم وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه